Social problems of India and challenges. Introduction. India is a country with huge population and the largest democracy. Here, people of different religions, languages, cultures live together. Coordinating culture and secularism are its characteristics. Indian society is changing from traditional to modern society. Many changes have taken place in it. With these changes, many problems have originated, which includes social, economic, political, cultural problems. In this chapter, we will discuss two challenges. 1. Communalism. 2. Casteism. Many people of India belonging to different regions, castes, languages have collectively worked for freedom of our country. It is because of their efforts that we have achieved precious freedom. It seems that harmony, unity, tolerance, etc. that existed in the past has withered away after the independence. Today, we come across some negative factors which hinder the peace and progress, such as communal conflicts, caste-based quarrels, regional violence, etc. This is a serious challenge to social goodwill, secularism, democratic values, and national integrity. Communalism. Religion is a matter of faith and reverence. Generally, every person follows one or the other religion or sect. India is a secular country. Thus, communal behavior is against the spirit of constitution. When a group of people of a religion or sect oppose other religion or sect because of any reason, communal tension arises. When the people of any religion or sect try to show superiority of their religion in comparison with other religions and give more importance to religious interest, then they look at every citizen not as an individual, but from a communal perspective. Such a spirit divides the society. Even after so many years of independence, we have not been able to solve the problems of communalism. Communalism is harmful in different ways. It leads to social tension in the country. People consider their own friends as enemies or rivals, because of which atmosphere of difference and hatred is created. Communal tension leads to communal riots or quarrels. All these things are harmful for democracy, national integrity, and development of nation. Struggle against communalism. We know that communalism is a hindrance to the progress of individual, society, and nation. Various steps should be undertaken to eradicate communalism. At first, government should take punitive actions against communal elements to eradicate communalism from the society. Education can play an important role in eradication of communalism. In our education and curriculum, positive things have been included. Other than that, prayers of all the religions are organized, social functions are celebrated, so that the children develop respect for all the religions. Political party based on communal idea should not be given recognition. Special ethics are there for elections. They must be implemented and followed. Radio, TV, cinema are the best audio-visual aid to reach to common people. Through them, message of secularism, tolerance should be spread. Such type of programs should be telecasted which promote national interest and nationalism. For the progress of nation, religious leaders and political leaders should work together to combat the problem of communalism. Youth must come forward to remove communalism. At the social and educational level, it should be tried that youth develops secular and scientific attitude. For this purpose, not only government but society should also try. understanding the fact that national interest, national pride are above religion, caste, state, or language, ties the people in one thread and nurtures nationalism and national integrity. Casteism. Castes have been existing in the social system of India since its birth. Thus, we may say that India's social structure is based on casteism. Earlier, concept of casteism was different from what it is today. To fulfill the basic needs of the society, the task-based communities were at the base of work division. According to early hypothesis, Varna system, that is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Shudra, was based on 4 occupations. Dwelling arrangement and occupation were based on caste. As the base of occupation was source of income, and some castes were getting low income, so they remained poor economically. Before the period of British rule, some communities were living isolated life in the regions where it was not easy to reach, like inaccessible forest and mountainous region. Social and cultural life of these communities was different from others. They had their own prominent culture and language. Because of living separately from generation to generation, people of these communities could not develop. As a result of it, their economic and social condition has remained backward. Constitutional provisions for protection of interests of the minorities, weak and backward classes. Many provisions have been made in the Constitution for the protection, welfare and progress of minorities, weaker sections and backward classes. These constitutional provisions have been provided to protect their interests, to eradicate social inequality, and to work for their welfare and development. Indian Constitution grants equal social, economic and political justice to all the Indians. According to the Indian Constitution, there will be no discrimination on the basis of community, caste, religion, language, sex, etc. It is also mentioned in the Constitution that equal opportunity and equal status is the fundamental right of every citizen. Moreover, the states are also given powers so that they may discharge the duties as a welfare state. It can impose certain restrictions on certain fundamental rights in order to protect weaker and backward class of the society. The right to religion gives freedom to follow any religion. The main objective behind providing constitutional help to minorities, weaker sections and backward classes is to offer them equal opportunities, justice and status in the country. Care is taken for these classes in the 5-year plans also. Minorities. Minority is such a group of people which is not in majority with regard to religion or language within a certain region or regions. There is no specific definition for minority in the Indian Constitution. Generally, a group of people forming less than half of the total population of a region or a country can be called minority. The concept of minority is not restricted to any religion, language or region. Just as at national level, the local and regional minorities are taken into account at the state level also. That is why the concept of minority at national level differs from that at the state level. If a community is in majority in any region or in state's total population, it can be in minority at national level. Contrary to this, a group which is in minority in a state can be in majority at national level. In India, minorities share equal rights with the majority. Moreover, special provisions have been made in the Constitution to protect and encourage their religion, language, culture, script, etc. Like, a National Minority Commission has been set up for protecting the rights, interests, welfare and for progress of minorities. The right to religion, especially to minorities, assures them that they can make propaganda to spread and propagate their religion. The law does permit forceful religious conversion. Any educational institution taking government grant cannot teach religious teachings. All religious communities have a right to acquire and maintain property for religious activities. The minorities have the right to preserve their script and culture as per cultural and educational right. Any educational institution receiving government grants cannot refuse an admission on the basis of religion, race, caste, color, or language. All the sections of the society have a right to retain and develop a language and script of their own choice to establish and run educational institutions for the protection and growth of their culture. The state governments provide facilities to get the primary education in their mother tongue to the children of the minority. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The Indian Constitution does not give a clear-cut definition of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. This has been specially referred to by the order of the President on the advice of the Governor of the respective states. In the Indian Constitution, provisions have been made to prevent caste-based exploitation, to wipe out the injustice to them through equality and fraternity, and to see that they progress socially, economically, politically, and educationally. According to Article 341, those castes included in this schedule are called scheduled castes, while those castes which are included in the schedule of Article 342 are called scheduled tribes. People who live mostly in the forest areas and mountainous regions are included among scheduled tribes. They live in specific geographical conditions and live a different social and cultural life as compared to others. These people are economically and educationally backward. Constitutional provisions. For the development and welfare of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, the following special provisions are made in the Constitution. These are as follows. General provisions. According to Article 15 of the Constitution. Article 15 of the Constitution restricts discrimination on the basis of religion, community, caste, birthplace, etc. In addition to this, no condition can be imposed, A, for entering shops, public restaurants, hotels, and places of public entertainment, or B, for using wells, lakes, bathing places, roads, for using places dedicated for public use completely or partially under the control of state government. According to Article 29, A, if a person living in any part of India holds his own language, script or cultural setup of his own, he has the right to preserve them, and B, a person will not be refused admission on the basis of religion, caste, language to any institution run and maintained with financial help from the government. Special provisions. According to Article 46 of the Directive Principles of the State Policy, a state would take care of the educational, social and economic interests of backward class of the state. Specially, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe will be protected against social injustice and exploitation. According to Article 16(4), if the state government feels that the backward classes are not represented proportionately in government jobs, The state government will have the right to provide reservation in jobs and appointments. According to Articles 330, 332 and 334, some seats in Legislative Assembly and Parliament are reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. There is no reservation of seats in Rajya Sabha. Seats are reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in Gram Panchayat and municipality. Other than these, under different 5-year programs, hostels have been opened and a scheme has been launched to offer scholarship for children, counseling and training classes for competitive examinations have been started. Residential schools or ashram shala have been set up for educational progress. Minimum requirements of age, fees and qualifications have been relaxed for the candidates of these groups for government jobs. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Organization felicitates those persons who work for social understanding and upliftment of weaker sections of population, their social transformation, potentiality, justice and human dignity. There is a separate division in the state and a special officer is appointed at the central level for the welfare and protection of the interests of these people. National Commission is formed at the central level for these people. Along with it, various schemes have been started for social, educational and economical development of these people by state and central government. Provisions only for scheduled castes. According to Article 17, untouchability is totally eradicated and its practice in any form is prohibited. Any disqualification imposed due to untouchability is considered to be a legally punishable crime. According to Article 25, states are given right to frame a law or continue any existing law which permits the public institutions for social welfare or reforms to keep the Hindu religious institutions open to all Hindus. Here, the word Hindu includes Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists, and Hindu religious institution includes all the religious institutions of Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists. Provisions only for scheduled tribes. The Article 19(5) empowers the governors of the states to impose restrictions in the interest of scheduled castes over the right to unrestricted movement of people to any region, to settle down there, to acquire property, or to carry out any business or trade. Such rights give authority to restrict exploitation in the tribal regions about land transactions, money lending, and other exploitation of scheduled tribes, and to frame special laws to protect them. Conclusion. Various schemes and programs have been started by the government for the development of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and backward classes. That is why their condition is improving. Many people have got an opportunity to progress socially, economically, politically. Terrorism, a global problem. In the 21st century, terrorism has become a problem for human society. It is a global problem. Terrorism leads to destruction of human rights, bloodshed, destruction, fear, chaos, violence, unrest, etc. Although terrorism has no connection with any religion or sect, yet by linking terrorism with religion, terrorists are getting indulged in cowardice and hateful act. Terrorism is a hindrance in the progress of a nation. Terrorism is related to violence which openly violates the principle of live and let live. The objective behind any activity may be good or pious, but terrorism cannot be considered as worthy. Terrorism is an organized, planned and deliberate violent act. Terrorists are engaged in violent activities like suicide attacks, throwing bombs, hiding weapons and using them, kidnapping, hijacking of planes, smuggling of narcotic drugs, etc. Rebellion and terrorism in India. The line between terrorism and rebellion is very thin. Rebellion is a national problem. Terrorism is a global problem. Rebellion, it is spread on the regional level against own government. Terrorism, it is either against own country or against other countries. It is spread at the international level. Rebellion, it is carried out with the help of local people. Terrorism, they may or may not get local support. Rebellion, development of state is suffering from the problem of rebellion is hindered. Terrorism, development of countries suffering from terrorism is hindered. Thus, we see that rebellion originates from local dissatisfaction and there is no such restriction on terrorism. Today, India is fighting against internal rebellion and terrorism. Naxalist movement. Inspired by the Chinese Revolution under the leadership of Mao Zedong, some Naxalites started this insurgency in India for the first time in 1967 in West Bengal. This fierce ideology is called Naxalism because it originated in a village, Naxalbari, in West Bengal. With its beginning in West Bengal, it has spread now in Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Tripura, Madhya Pradesh, mountains and forest regions. There are two major organizations, namely People's War Group and Maoist Communist Center. Insurgents in Northeast. Since independence, the insurgency in northeastern India has been a perennial problem for India. Some factors which stimulate insurgency are many tribal communities, hilly and forested landscape, mutual cooperation among militant groups, international boundary at few places, and indulgence of foreign agencies, etc. State Rebellion Organization. Nagaland, NSCN, National Socialist Council of Nagaland. Manipur, KNF, Kuki National Front. KNA, Kuki National Army. Tripura, NLFT, National Liberation Front of Tripura. ATTF, All Tripura Tigers Force. TUJS, Tripura Upajati Japa Samiti. Assam, ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam. UMF, United Minority Front. NDFB, National Democratic Front of Bodoland. BLTF, Bodoland Liberation Tiger Force. These rebellion organizations have been struggling for the demand of separate state to secure their own political, economic interests or on the questions of illegal immigration. So because of it, economic, social, administrative and political systems are damaged. Terrorism in Kashmir. India became independent on 15th August 1947. Two separate nations, India and Pakistan, were formed. Pakistan has captured some part of Kashmir after independence. Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. Still, Pakistan tries to capture it every now and then. It has even fought wars for this, and in every war, India has inflicted a humiliating defeat to it. Terrorism has increased in Kashmir after 1988. The terrorists have terrorized people by kidnapping, murders, bomb explosions, etc. to fulfill their motive. As a result of it, families of many Kashmiri Pandits had to migrate. Thousands of such families are living as refugees outside Kashmir. Terrorism in Kashmir is supported from across the border. The intention of the terrorists is to create fear and instability in India. India is determined to face them firmly. India opposes terrorism not only in India, but also anywhere, in any form, and at any time. In order to end terrorism, soldiers of India have accepted martyrdom. Social effects of terrorism. Terrorism leads to disintegration of the nation. Terrorism creates feeling of fear and suspicion among the people because of the activities like fear, robbery, violence, etc. Its effect is felt in all age groups. Education suffers adversely in terrorism-affected area. As a result of terrorism, mutual faith and feelings of brotherhood diminished. Many times, it leads to communal conflicts and social arrangements are shred into fragments. Chaos and unrest is generated in the society. People cannot celebrate social functions with enthusiasm. As a result of it, interrelations connecting people are disrupted. Economic impact of terrorism. Because of terrorism, conducive atmosphere for development of business and industry is not created. So, the business and trade relations are adversely affected. Due to negative effect on business and industries, people migrate to other places. Some terrorist organizations extort money from rich, industrialists, employees, businessmen. Terrorists are engaged in anti-social activities like drug trafficking and black money. As a result of it, socio-economic problems are created in the country. Terrorists destroy railway, radio stations, roads, bridges, other government offices, etc. Crores of rupees have to be spent to re-establish them. Government has to spend crores of rupees for safety and protection or security. As a result of terrorism, state and national transportation industry, tourism industry have to suffer a great loss. Thus, terrorism is socially as well as economically harmful. Thus, it is necessary to solve this problem.